If you went to bed last night worrying about tomorrow, you're literally killing yourself with imaginary problems. Scientists have proven that 92% of what you fear never happens, and the 8% that does happen is never as bad as you imagined. Yet you're sacrificing your present peace for future phantoms. Today, that ends forever. The fear pandemic. Welcome to Stoic mentality. What you're about to learn isn't just philosophy. It's psychological armor that makes you invincible to future fear. Marcus Aurelius faced plagues, wars, and the death of children without losing his mind. Seneca lost everything and gained it back multiple times without anxiety. Epictetus was literally enslaved, yet more mentally free than his masters. They all shared one secret: complete immunity to future fear. Right now, you're probably thinking about next week's bills, next month's deadlines, next year's uncertainties. Your mind is time-traveling to disasters that don't exist, creating suffering from scenarios that haven't happened, bleeding energy into timelines that may never occur. You're not living. You're pre-dying 1,000 imaginary deaths. And it's not your fault. Modern society has weaponized future fear to control you. Every advertisement sells you protection from tomorrow. Every news headline threatens you with what's coming. Every expert warns you about what might happen. But the Stoics discovered the antidote 2,000 years ago. They developed specific mental techniques that don't just manage fear, they eliminate it at its source. These aren't coping mechanisms or positive thinking tricks. These are fundamental rewirings of how your brain processes future uncertainty. By the end of this video, you'll possess the same mental immunity that allowed ancient philosophers to face death with curiosity rather than terror. Before we dive into the first technique, and this one alone will cut your anxiety by 80%. If you're tired of losing sleep to tomorrow's ghosts, if you're ready to reclaim the mental energy you're wasting on future fear, hit that subscribe button right now. Stoic mentality doesn't just teach philosophy. We transform ancient wisdom into modern mental weapons. New videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, each one building your psychological armor stronger. The Dichotomy Shield. The first technique is what I call the Dichotomy Shield, based on Epictetus's fundamental principle. Some things are within our power, and some things are not. This isn't just a nice idea, it's a complete mental defense system that makes you literally immune to future fear. Here's how it works. Every fear about the future falls into one of two categories: things you can control and things you can't. The economy crashing? Outside your control. Your preparation for economic uncertainty? Within your control. Other people's decisions? Outside your control. Your response to their decisions? Within your control. Death itself? Outside your control. How you live until then? Completely within your control. Now here's where the immunity develops. When you truly internalize this dichotomy, something profound happens in your brain. The amygdala, your fear center, literally stops firing for things outside your control. It's like installing a filter that blocks fear signals from uncontrollable futures. You don't suppress the fear. It simply doesn't generate because your brain recognizes it as irrelevant data. Marcus Aurelius used this shield while plague killed millions around him. He wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." But he meant something deeper. Confine your concern to what you can control in the present. The plague spread, uncontrollable, therefore unworthy of fear. His response to the plague: controllable, therefore worthy of attention. He didn't fear the future because he understood that the future is just a series of present moments where he would apply the same principle. I tested this during the 2020 pandemic. While everyone panicked about uncontrollable futures, I applied the Dichotomy Shield. Global pandemic? Outside my control, no fear generated. My health practices? Within my control. Focused attention there. Economic collapse? Outside my control. No mental energy wasted. Building multiple income streams? Within my control, all energy invested there. The result? While others were paralyzed by anxiety, I built 3 new businesses. Not because I'm special, but because I wasn't wasting energy on uncontrollable futures. But here's the advanced application. The Dichotomy Shield doesn't just protect you from fear, it redirects that energy into power. Every unit of mental energy you don't waste on uncontrollable futures becomes available for controllable actions. You literally become more capable because you're not bleeding power into fear. In the next segment, I'll show you how to multiply this effect with the second technique, the negative visualization paradox. This next technique will sound insane at first, but it's the most powerful fear destroyer the Stoics developed. It's called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. You deliberately imagine losing everything, facing your worst fears, experiencing your dreaded futures. But here's the paradox. By mentally experiencing these futures, you become immune to fearing them. Seneca practiced this religiously. Once a month, he would live as if he'd lost everything. Sleep on the floor, eat basic food, wear rough clothes. Then he'd ask himself, is this the condition I so feared? And every time the answer was no. The reality was never as bad as the fear of it. By experiencing the feared future in controlled conditions, he discovered it wasn't worth fearing. But modern neuroscience has revealed why this works so powerfully. When you imagine a feared future in detail, your brain processes it as if it actually happened. The initial fear response fires, peaks, then naturally subsides through a process called habituation. By the time you've imagined it 3 or 4 times, your brain literally stops generating fear about it because it's been coded as a survived experience. Here's how you apply it. Take your biggest future fear right now. Maybe it's losing your job, your relationship ending, getting sick. Now deliberately imagine it happening. See yourself getting fired. Feel the initial shock. Then imagine the next day. You wake up, you're still alive, you start taking action. Imagine a week later, you're applying for jobs, maybe even feeling relief. Imagine a month later, new opportunities emerging. Imagine a year later, potentially better off than before. What happens is profound. Your brain realizes the feared future isn't death, it's just change. And you've survived every change so far. The anticipation of loss is always worse than actual loss. The fear of pain exceeds the pain itself. By pre-experiencing these futures mentally, you drain them of their power. You've already survived them in your mind, so the fear dissolves. Marcus Aurelius took this further. Every morning, he would imagine losing his empire, his family, his life, not from morbidity but from mental training. By the time any actual loss occurred, he'd already processed it hundreds of times. His famous quote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive," came from regularly imagining being dead. When you've mentally experienced non-existence, existence becomes extraordinary, not fearful. The present fortress. Now we reach the technique that makes the first 2 even more powerful, building what I call the present fortress. This is where you become literally untouchable by future fear, because you've made the present moment absolutely impenetrable. Epictetus discovered this while enslaved. He realized that no matter what future torture was threatened, they couldn't touch him in the present moment. And the future never arrives, it's always just another present moment. The present fortress works like this. You train your mind to recognize that you never actually experience the future. You only experience the present. That meeting next week you're dreading? When it happens, it will be a present moment, and you'll handle it with present resources. That financial crisis you fear next year? If it happens, it will arrive as a present moment, and you'll respond with present capabilities. The future is a mental construction. Reality is always now. But here's the game-changing insight. Your resources in any future present moment will be different from what you imagine now. Right now, you're imagining facing future challenges with your current resources, knowledge, and strength. But by the time that future becomes present, you'll have evolved. You'll have learned more, grown stronger, developed new capabilities. You're fearing a future you'll never actually experience because the you who meets that future will be different from the current you imagining it. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. When plague threatened Rome's future, he didn't waste energy fearing it. He knew that if and when plague arrived, it would come as a present challenge met by a present emperor with present resources. His job wasn't to fear future plague, but to strengthen present capacity. Every day he built his present fortress stronger through philosophy, discipline, and virtue. By the time challenges arrived, he was ready. Not because he'd feared them, but because he'd prepared in the present. I discovered this truth during a health scare. Doctors found something suspicious and scheduled tests 3 weeks away. The old me would have spent 3 weeks in terror, imagining cancer, death, suffering. Instead, I built my present fortress. I asked, am I sick right now in this moment? No. Can I control the test results? No. Can I strengthen myself right now? Yes, I spent 3 weeks getting healthier, stronger, more peaceful. When the tests came back clear, I realized something profound. Even if they'd been positive, I would have faced it from my present fortress, not from future fear. Coming up next, I'm revealing the mathematical formula that proves your fear of the future is completely irrational. Once you see this equation, you'll never fear tomorrow the same way again. The probability equation Seneca was not just a philosopher. He was one of Rome's wealthiest businessmen. He understood probability and risk better than anyone, and he discovered a mathematical truth about future fear that will blow your mind. The probability of your feared future happening multiplied by its actual impact, if it does happen, is always less than the cost of fearing it. Let me prove it. Take any future you fear. Let's say job loss. Statistical probability of unexpected job loss in any given year, roughly 3 to 5%. Actual impact if it happens, temporary income disruption, maybe 3 to 6 months of adjustment. Now calculate the cost of fearing it. Daily anxiety, reduced performance, which ironically increases likelihood of job loss. Health impacts from chronic stress, relationship strain from worry, missed opportunities because you're playing defensive. The fear cost exceeds the probability-weighted impact by a factor of 100 or more, but it gets worse. Fear of the future creates a negative probability loop. The more you fear something, the more likely you make it. Fear job loss? You perform worse, making loss likelier. Fear relationship ending? You act insecure, pushing partner away. Fear health problems? Stress weakens immunity, creating health issues. You're literally manifesting feared futures through the act of fearing them. The Stoics understood this paradox. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What we anticipate seldom occurs. What we least expect generally happens." Why? Because anticipation changes behavior in ways that prevent the anticipated outcome, while lack of expectation leaves us behaving naturally, allowing unexpected events to unfold. The future you fear most is the least likely to occur precisely because you fear it enough to prevent it. Here's the equation that changes everything. Actual future impact, probability x severity, preparation plus adaptation. Your fear assumes 100% probability and maximum severity with 0 preparation or adaptation. Reality delivers maybe 5% probability, moderate severity, with substantial preparation and infinite adaptation capacity. You're fearing an equation that doesn't exist. I calculated this for my biggest fears 5 years ago. Fear of business failure, 20% probability, x moderate impact, high preparation, infinite adaptation, x negligible actual threat. Fear of relationship ending, 10% probability, x high initial impact, lessons learned, growth opportunity, cash and potential positive outcome. Every single fear, when put through the equation, revealed itself as mathematically irrational. The anti-fragile mind. Now we enter advanced territory, developing what Nassim Taleb called anti-fragility, which the Stoics practiced without naming. This isn't just immunity to future fear, it's actively benefiting from future uncertainty. You don't just survive feared futures, you thrive on them. The more uncertain the future, the stronger you become. The anti-fragile mind works through a principle Marcus Aurelius lived by. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. every future fear represents potential growth. Every uncertainty contains opportunity. Every possible disaster carries possible triumph. When you develop an anti-fragile mind, you stop fearing the future and start anticipating it with curiosity. Here's how you build it. First, reframe every future uncertainty as training. Lost job, training in reinvention. Market crash, training in resourcefulness. Relationship ending, training in self-sufficiency. Pandemic, training in adaptation. The future isn't threatening you, it's offering you curriculum. The worse the potential future, the better the potential training. Second, develop multiple response strategies for every feared future. If X happens, I'll do A, B, or C. If Y happens, I'll implement D, E, or F. Not detailed plans. That's trying to control the future. But multiple directional options. This transforms fear into strategic thinking. Your mind stops panicking about what if and starts preparing if-then scenarios. Third, cultivate what Seneca called preferred indifferences. Prefer health but be indifferent to illness. Prefer wealth but be indifferent to poverty. Prefer success but be indifferent to failure. This isn't apathy, it's flexibility. When you're genuinely okay with any future, no future can frighten you. You have preferences but not dependencies. I became anti-fragile to future uncertainty by deliberately seeking it. Instead of stable employment, I chose entrepreneurship. Instead of predictable relationships, I chose growth-oriented ones. Instead of safe investments, I chose volatile ones I could learn from. The result? Every market crash made me smarter. Every business failure made me stronger. Every relationship challenge made me wiser. The uncertain futures I once feared became the training ground for who I am now. Next, I'm going to reveal the mental technique that completely eliminates anxiety about death, the ultimate future fear. This is the crown jewel of Stoic immunity. The mortality meditation. Every fear of the future ultimately reduces to fear of death. Fear of poverty? Fear of death by starvation. Fear of rejection? Fear of social death. Fear of failure? Fear of psychological death. Master death fear and all other future fears become trivial. The Stoics knew this, which is why they developed the most powerful fear immunity technique, memento mori. Remember you must die. But this isn't morbid fixation. It's the ultimate liberation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live." When you fully accept your mortality, every future fear loses its power. What can threaten someone who has already accepted the ultimate threat? What can scare someone who has made peace with the final fear? Here's the practice that will transform you. Every morning, spend 2 minutes contemplating your mortality. Not imagining how you'll die, but accepting that you will. Feel the truth that your days are numbered. Recognize that everyone you love will die. Acknowledge that everything you're building will crumble. This isn't depressing, it's clarifying. When you accept the ultimate future certainty, all future uncertainties become insignificant. Seneca took it further with his famous exercise. Every night when you go to bed, tell yourself, "I may not wake up." Then in the morning, "I woke up. This day is a bonus." When you live each day as a bonus day you weren't guaranteed, fear becomes impossible. How can you fear losing a future you were never promised? How can you worry about tomorrow when today itself is a gift? But here's the profound shift. Accepting mortality doesn't make you reckless. It makes you present. When you know time is limited, you stop wasting it on future fear. When you accept that death is coming, you start living. When you embrace that everything ends, you begin appreciating what is. The fear of future loss transforms into gratitude for present possession. I practice mortality meditation daily, and it has eliminated not just death fear, but all future fear. When someone threatens future consequences, I think, "I'm going to die anyway." When uncertainty looms, I remember none of this matters in 100 years. When fear arises, I ask, if I knew I'd die next year, would this matter? The answer is always no, and the fear always dissolves. The cosmic perspective Marcus Aurelius had a practice that instantly dissolved any future fear. He called it the view from above. He would imagine floating above Earth, seeing the insignificance of his problems from cosmic perspective. Your feared future? From space, it's invisible. Your tomorrow's worries? The universe doesn't notice. Your life or death concerns? Cosmic dust. This isn't nihilism, it's proportion. The cosmic perspective doesn't say nothing matters. It reveals what actually matters. When you zoom out far enough, all your future fears reveal themselves as local perturbations in an infinite cosmos. The business that might fail, one of billions. The relationship that might end, one of trillions. The life that might struggle, one brief flicker in eternal time. But here's the liberating truth. If your problems are cosmically insignificant, so is failing at them. If your future fears don't register on universal scale, neither does their manifestation. You're free to fail, free to struggle, free to face any future, because none of it disrupts the cosmic order. The universe continues, whether you succeed or fail, thrive or struggle, live or die. Epictetus understood this from the opposite angle. As a slave, he was already cosmically insignificant in social terms. Yet he realized his thoughts were as vast as any emperor's. His mind could contemplate the same infinity. His consciousness could touch the same eternal truths. External future circumstances couldn't touch his cosmic citizenship. Apply this now. Whatever you're fearing about tomorrow, zoom out. See yourself from above your building, then your city, your country, your continent, your planet, your solar system, your galaxy. Keep going until your feared future becomes invisibly small. Now zoom back in, but maintain that perspective. The thing you're fearing is real, but relatively insignificant. It matters, but not ultimately. Coming up, I'm going to share the technique that transforms future fear into future excitement. This is where immunity becomes opportunity. The adventure reframe Seneca wrote something revolutionary. The willing destiny guides, the unwilling destiny drags. Your future is coming whether you fear it or not, but you have a choice. Experience it as a victim or as an adventurer. The Stoics chose adventure, and that choice transformed fear into excitement. The adventure reframe works like this. Every uncertain future is an adventure you haven't had yet. That job interview next week? Not a trial, but a quest. That potential relationship ending? Not a loss, but a new chapter. That financial uncertainty? Not a crisis, but a challenge level. When you reframe futures as adventures rather than threats, your entire neurological response changes. The same adrenaline that created fear now creates excitement. Think about watching a thriller movie. Your heart races, palms sweat, muscles tense, the exact same physical response as fear. But you're not afraid. You're excited. Why? Because you've framed the uncertainty as entertainment rather than threat. You can do the same with your actual future. It's all about the frame. Marcus Aurelius lived this during his military campaigns. Leading armies into uncertain battles against barbarian hordes, most would be terrified. He framed it as the universe giving him opportunities to develop courage, wisdom, leadership. Each uncertain future was a chance to level up his character stats. He wasn't facing threats. He was collecting experiences. I reframed my entire life this way 5 years ago. Instead of fearing future uncertainty, I started collecting it. Business volatility became entrepreneurial adventure. Relationship uncertainty became emotional exploration. Health challenges became biological experiments. The futures I once feared became the adventures I now seek. Same futures, different frame, opposite emotional response. But here's the key. Adventure doesn't mean recklessness. Adventurers prepare, train, equip themselves. They respect the challenge while embracing it. You can acknowledge future difficulty while choosing to see it as adventure rather than threat. The mountain climber knows Everest is dangerous, but frames it as challenge, not terror. The contribution filter. Here's a perspective shift that will permanently end your future fear. Stop asking, what might happen to me? And start asking, how can I contribute regardless of what happens? This is the contribution filter, and it makes you psychologically invincible to any future. Marcus Aurelius faced plague, war, betrayal, and death of loved ones. But he never asked, why is this happening to me? He asked, how can I serve Rome through this? When you filter every future through contribution rather than personal impact, fear becomes impossible. You can't fear a future where you're focused on giving rather than getting. The contribution filter works because it aligns you with the Stoic concept of virtue being its own reward. If your goal is to contribute virtue regardless of circumstances, then no circumstances can threaten your goal. Economic collapse, you'll contribute resilience. Personal loss, you'll contribute compassion. Health crisis, you'll contribute courage. Every future becomes an opportunity to contribute something valuable. Epictetus lived this perfectly. As a slave, his future was completely uncertain. He could be sold, beaten, killed at any moment. But he filtered everything through contribution. How could he contribute wisdom to fellow slaves? How could he demonstrate dignity despite degradation? How could he teach through his example? No future could threaten him because his mission adapted to any future. Here's how you implement it. For every feared future, ask, how could I contribute if this happens? Lose your job? Contribute by showing others how to reinvent. Relationship ends? Contribute by demonstrating graceful transition. Health fails? Contribute by inspiring others facing similar challenges. When you have a contribution plan for every possible future, fear becomes excitement about potential service. I live this daily. When COVID hit, instead of fearing economic collapse, I asked, how can I contribute during this? Started free online workshops, created resources, helped others adapt. The pandemic I might have feared became my greatest contribution period. Not because I'm altruistic, but because contribution focus makes you fearless. The legacy framework. Seneca introduced an idea that destroys future fear at its root. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Your entire life is writing a story that will be told after you're gone. When you view your future through the legacy framework, individual fears become chapters in a larger narrative. The legacy framework asks, how will this feared future contribute to my legacy? That business failure you're dreading. It might be the chapter titled The Comeback, that relationship ending you fear. Perhaps it's the liberation, that health crisis you worry about. Could be the awakening. When you see feared futures as necessary chapters in your legacy story, you stop fearing them and start seeing them as narrative necessities. Marcus Aurelius knew his legacy would outlive his fears. While ruling Rome, he didn't fear future judgment because he was writing his legacy through his actions, not protecting it through fear. His meditations weren't written for publication. They were private legacy work, ensuring his thoughts would outlive his fears. Think about the stories that inspire you. Do any of them involve people who never faced adversity? Heroes who never struggled? Leaders who never failed? Of course not. The stories that move us involve overcoming feared futures. Your feared future might be the very chapter that makes your story worth telling. Here's the practical application. Write your obituary from the future, including all your feared scenarios as overcome challenges. Despite losing everything in the market crash, they rebuilt with wisdom. After surviving cancer, they dedicated themselves to following the difficult divorce. They discovered, when you see feared futures as legacy chapters rather than life endings, fear transforms into curiosity about your story. Coming next, the ultimate technique that not only eliminates future fear, but transforms you into someone who creates fearless futures for others. The teacher's immunity. The ultimate level of future fear. Immunity comes from what I call the teacher's immunity. When you commit to teaching others how to overcome their future fears, you become incapable of fearing your own. This is the crown jewel of Stoic practice. Transforming from student to teacher, from protected to protector. Epictetus embodied this perfectly. After gaining freedom from slavery, he could have simply enjoyed his liberty. Instead, he became a teacher. Every future uncertainty became teaching material. Every challenge became curriculum. He couldn't fear futures that were providing him with wisdom to share. His own future fears dissolved in service to eliminating others. The teacher's immunity works through a profound psychological shift. When you're focused on helping others overcome their fears, you can't maintain your own. It's difficult meeting becomes a quest. That uncertainty becomes exploration. This transforms fear into excitement. This protocol takes 20 minutes daily, but saves hours of anxiety. More importantly, it builds cumulative immunity. Each day of practice weakens fear's grip. After 30 days, you'll find yourself naturally immune to future fears that once paralyzed you. Your fearless future. As we conclude, I want you to imagine something. What would your life look like if you had zero fear of the future? How would you behave if you knew with absolute certainty that you could handle anything that comes? What would you attempt if failure wasn't frightening? Who would you become if tomorrow couldn't threaten you? This isn't fantasy. This is the life available to you through Stoic practice. Marcus Aurelius lived it while ruling an empire in crisis. Seneca lived it while navigating Nero's deadly court. Epictetus lived it while transitioning from slave to philosopher. They didn't have better futures than you. They had better relationships with uncertainty. The truth is, your future fears are stealing your present life. Every moment spent dreading tomorrow is a moment not spent living today. Every ounce of energy invested in worry is unavailable for creation. Every thought dedicated to fear is not dedicated to growth. You're sacrificing your actual life for imaginary threats. But when you develop immunity to future fear through these Stoic techniques, everything changes. You stop living defensively and start living offensively. You stop protecting and start creating. You stop worrying and start building. The energy you reclaim from fear becomes available for extraordinary achievement. Here's what I know with absolute certainty. 1 year from now, you'll either still be fearing the future or you'll be immune to it. You'll either be losing sleep to tomorrow's ghosts or you'll be sleeping peacefully, knowing you can handle anything. You'll either be sacrificing today for tomorrow's fears, or you'll be fully present and fearlessly creative. The choice is yours. The Stoics have given you the tools. I've shown you how to use them. The only question is, will you? Will you commit to the daily practice that builds immunity? Will you choose fearlessness over fear? Will you reclaim your mental sovereignty from future uncertainty? If your answer is yes, take action now. Subscribe to Stoic Mentality. We're not just teaching philosophy. We're building an army of fearless individuals who transform uncertainty into opportunity. Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, we go deeper into these practices, building your immunity stronger. Comment below with one future fear you're ready to dissolve. Share your commitment to fearlessness. Join thousands of others who are choosing immunity over anxiety, power over panic, stoicism over suffering. Share this video with someone paralyzed by future fear. Be the messenger who delivers their mental freedom. Give them the tools to break free from tomorrow's tyranny. Remember, the future isn't coming to destroy you, it's coming to develop you. Your fears aren't warnings, they're invitations to growth. Your uncertainty isn't threatening, it's thrilling. When you truly understand this, when you embody these Stoic principles, you don't just become immune to future fear, you become excited about future adventure. Your fearless future starts now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect. Now, in this moment, with this decision, to stop fearing and start living, to stop worrying and start growing, to stop defending and start creating. The Stoics conquered fear 2,000 years ago. They left you the blueprint. Today, you've received it. Tomorrow, you'll apply it. And from then on, you'll live fearlessly, knowing that whatever the future brings, you're ready. Welcome to your immunity. Welcome to your freedom. Welcome to your fearless future. This is Stoic Mentality, reminding you that the future isn't something to fear, it's something to create.